Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Welcome to the session. Can you hear me? If yes, please type yes in the chat box as a confirmation. Can you hear me? Thank you, Sanket. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Satish. Thank you, John. Thank you all for your confirmations. Thank you very much for joining the first day of the today's session. Let us stop the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me introduce myself. My name is Sunil Kopavarapu. I'm based out of Hyderabad, India. I have total 11 years of experience. I've started my career in Oracle platform, Oracle applications as a techno-functional consultant. And then I have shifted my career from Oracle to cloud and DevOps, as well as I have some exposure towards Python programming. Okay, and I have total 7 years of experience in teaching. So this is about a quick introduction about myself. I'm based out of Hyderabad. Participants, if you want to quickly introduce yourself, your experience, and any specific purpose for joining this particular course, please raise your hand. We can have an interaction. If you want to talk to me regarding your introduction, your name, your background, your experience, you're allowed to raise your hand. We can ask you to unmute. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. So what's the plan for today? As we are in the first day of the new batch, okay? This is batch number 1 minute. I hope this is batch number 431, batch number. There is a WhatsApp community exclusively created for this particular batch. To communicate to you easily, there is a WhatsApp community. I strongly recommend you to join the WhatsApp community. I hope you are already in the WhatsApp community. If you're not in the community, I'll just share the link now. I'm just sharing the link now. If you are already in this batch number 431, C stands for community. If you're already in this batch WhatsApp community, that's good. If you're not in the community, please join the community using the link which I have just posted in the chat box. Okay, you will get the updates about the training, and every day, whatever the topics which will be covered, we'll be sending you an audio message. You'll have a good idea regarding that. Okay, so this is about the WhatsApp community. Request you to join the WhatsApp community. Okay, perfect. And okay, so our plan for today is to understand. Our plan for today is to understand DevOps. Okay, the main purpose is to understand DevOps. So before getting into DevOps, I want to discuss about software development lifecycle. Before getting into DevOps, I want to discuss about software development lifecycle. Once we have a clarity in SDLC, then we will have a discussion about DevOps. Okay, what do you mean by SDLC? Try to understand. Let's say you have a client. Assuming an ICICI bank, a banking client needs an internet banking application to their customers. This is the requirement. It's a bank, let's say ICICI Bank needs an internet banking application to their customers so that their customers can log in and perform banking operations. So typically what the clients will do, client will approach IT companies. Am I right? Like Infosys, Wipro, IBM, any company. Client will approach IT companies. Clients will give the requirements. Am I right? Clients will give the requirements and their expectations. The software development companies take the requirements, they develop the product and deliver it to the customer. This is what happens on a high level. Clients are nothing but customers. Customers, as per the requirements, they give the details to the software development company. The software development company takes the requirements, develop the product, and deliver it to the customer. This is what happens in the IT industry. Okay. Next, very important, when software development companies like Infosys, IBM, Wipro, whatever it is, product development companies, when they take the requirements from the client, they have to follow a professional approach in developing a particular product. There is a professional defined approach in building a product. They cannot develop a product on an ad hoc basis. There is a series of steps to be followed by the product development companies. There is an approach, a professional approach in building a particular product and delivering it to the customer. This professional approach, which is defined by the experts, the steps to be followed for building the product and delivering to the customer, is nothing but SDLC, software development lifecycle. Okay, the approach the company should follow in build, right from taking the requirements from the client and delivering the product to the customer. This professional approach is called as software development lifecycle. Okay, perfect. So companies use a software development lifecycle to build a particular product and deliver it to the customer. There are several models in software development lifecycle. There are several models. As you can see, there are several models in software development lifecycle. When I say several models, there are different approaches. There's different approaches in building a particular product and delivering it to the customer. But I'm restricting myself to two important models. One is waterfall model, the other one is agile model. The different models, participants, the different models or the different approaches in building a particular product and delivering to customer. Are you understanding? Okay. So there is waterfall model, there is agile model, there's one more model called spiral model, there is one more model called V model. There are different models in building a particular product. So I am restricting myself to popular models, whereas waterfall model, the agile model. The most widely used model now in the industry is agile model. 95% of the product development companies are using agile model for building their particular product and delivering it to the customer. Highly successful model as of now is agile. Now, before discussing about agile model, I want to have a quick understanding about waterfall model. I'll discuss about waterfall model. We'll understand the disadvantages of the waterfall model, and then we'll discuss about agile model. Let us start with waterfall. If you have any questions, in between, if you have any questions, you are allowed to raise your hand. Okay, I get a notification whenever you raise a hand. I'll allow you to unmute. You can have a talk. So software development lifecycle is an approach followed by the product development companies to deliver build a particular product and deliver it. There are different models in software development lifecycle. Now we are discussing with waterfall model. This is how a waterfall model looks like. This is how a waterfall model is first of its kind. The first model in the software development lifecycle is waterfall model. Waterfall model is first model. Okay, probably this model is used 30 years back. Okay, this model was used 30 years back. No, now no one is using this particular waterfall. But the IT started with waterfall model. The software development evolution has started with waterfall model. The first of its kind is the waterfall model, okay, which is highly used in probably 30 years back. Okay, let's try to understand how a waterfall model looks like. As you can see, the first stage is requirement stage. analysis, design stage, coding stage, testing stage, and acceptance. Acceptance is nothing but delivery. These are the stages in the waterfall. A step-by-step approach. A step-by-step approach in building a particular product and delivering the product to customer is clearly, you can analyze that, you can understand that in the waterfall. Okay. Now let's try to understand the each and every stages in the waterfall model. The first stage is requirement stage. The first stage in the waterfall model is requirements. Not only the waterfall model, every model starts with the requirements. Not only waterfall model, every model starts with the requirement stage. There will be regular meetings between the client and the product development company to clearly understand the requirements. To clearly understand the requirements, there will be a regular meeting between the client and the product developer. If the requirements are clear in understanding, if the requirements are very clear, then only we end up delivering the right product. If understanding the requirements is wrong, obviously we end up delivering a wrong product. The most important stage is the requirement stage, and requirements is this first stage. Not only in the waterfall model, every model starts with the requirements. Understanding the requirements is very, very key. So there will be regular meetings between the client and the product development company. It is a responsibility of the product development company to gather the requirement from the client. There are specialists who are in the requirements team, gathering team. They will clearly understand the requirements of the client. Once the requirements is done, the second stage is analysis. Analysis stage. In the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. Participants. The technology components are decided. What do you mean by technology components? Should we develop the Java project using Java? Should we develop the project using .NET? Should we develop the project using Python technology? The technology components are decided. What database should we use? Should we use Oracle database? Should we use Microsoft SQL Server database? Or should we use MongoDB database? The technology components are decided. What middleware should we use? Should we use Tomcat as a application server? Should we use WebLogic? Should we use JBoss? What technology component should we use? That is decided in the analysis part. Okay, they decide the technology components. Okay, they'll decide, okay, let's go with Python technology. Let's use MongoDB database and let's use WebLogic or WebSphere, whatever it is. So that's what happens in the analysis part. The technology components are decided. Once the technology components are decided, the stage 3 is design stage. Now, what happens in the design? What happens in the design stage? The entire project is broken up into modules. The entire project is broken up into modules. For example, assuming a banking client, if it is a banking client, okay, savings account, one module one. Current account is one module. Wealth banking is one module. Credit cards, one module. NRI banking is one particular module. Wealth banking is one module. Customer care has one particular module. Got it? So the entire project is divided into modules. Small and medium scale enterprise, one module. The project is divided into modules. The project is broken up into modules. Data flow diagrams, workflows, user interfaces, user experience. Everything is drawn here. So in the design stage, you can experience the application on paper. How an application looks like, how the pages looks like, how the program, how the logic flows, how exactly the workflow happens. You can experience it on paper. The entire project is broken up into modules. Got it? Perfect. Once the designing has been completed, once the designing has been completed, the next stage is coding part. The next part is coding part. Here comes the role of a programmer or a developer. Here comes the role of a programmer or developer. Developers jump into action. They take the documents from the design team. They take the documents from the design team. Developers are mapped into specific modules. According to the modules they're working, they start taking the documents from the design team and start developing the application. As they know, they take the documents from the user experience document and start developing the pages. Here, the application will be realized. The entire application will be realized in the coding part. Developers will start coding as per the requirements, and the application will be built. Let's say developers has developed this particular application. They spend some time, approximately, let's say they have spent 4 to 5 months of time for building an application. Once the application is built, you cannot deliver it to the customer before testing. So once the application is built, next thing what you need to do is to test. Next part is the next stage is the testing stage. As developers develop the application as per the requirements, now the testing team will jump into action. They test whether the application is really working as per the requirements gathered. Is the application developed is meeting the requirements of the customer? That's what testing happens. There are different ways of testing: manual testing, automation testing. Finally, objective is the same. Whether it is manual testing or the so I'm back. So developers, once the development has been completed, testing happens. Testing team will check whether the application is working as per the requirements. Whether the application is working as per the requirements or not. As assume everything is positive. Assuming everything is positive, let's say there are no issues with respect to application. Application is perfectly meeting the requirements. If everything is good, then the last stage, we will deliver that particular product. The customer starts using that particular product. This approach, a step-by-step approach, followed by the product development companies, right from gathering the requirements to delivering it to the customer. This is called as a waterfall. This is called as a waterfall model. Am I clear? A step-by-step approach of building a particular product and delivering to the customer is called as a waterfall model. Am I clear? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. A very high-level understanding on how the what are the steps to be followed, right from the product development companies, right from gathering the requirements to delivering the customer is called as a waterfall model. Am I clear? Perfect. Thank you for the responses. Okay. Now, as I told you, waterfall model is not used now. Okay, waterfall model is not used now. As I told you, now the entire industry is shifted to the agile model. Okay, a waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. The waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. Okay, now what's the problem with the waterfall model? What is the problem? Why the waterfall model is not much used in the current industry? Let's try to understand. There are two important disadvantages of the waterfall model. Okay. The first main disadvantage is dependency. What do you mean by dependency? Let me explain your dependency in a practical way. Let's say requirements team has taken 1 month to gather the requirements. Okay, there are regular meetings for a period of 1 month between the client and the product development companies to gather the requirements. Okay, so after 1 month, okay, the technology decision, there will be a couple of meetings to understand the technology components to be decided. Now coming to design stage, the design team will jump into action. They start designing the documents. Okay, now it's a design team has taken 2 months of time. Design team has taken 2 months of time to complete the design stage. Okay, once the design team has been completed their stage, their next stage will be starting that is called as coding team. Assuming there are 50 developers. What is the strength? 50 developers. And the project manager has given an estimate that they need 6 months of time to complete the coding part. This is an estimate given by the project manager. They need 50 resources and the time required for developing a particular project is 6 months. Okay. Now the point is, in waterfall model, coding should start after completing the design stage. Let's say analysis has been taken 1 month of time. In waterfall model, after completing the previous stage, the next stage should happen. The coding stage should start after completing the design stage. So that means if the design stage is taking 2 months, now 6 months of waiting time by the 50 resources for 2 months is the uh, is the statement that should be mentioned. 50 resources will be waiting for 2 months to complete the design stage. Are you understanding? 50 resources should wait for a period of 2 months. One team will wait for its previous team to complete their job. Coding team will wait for 2 months to complete the design. Designs team will wait for 1 month for techno analysis. Analysis team will wait for requirements to be completed. There is a dependency between one team to other team. Because of this dependency, there is very difficult to meet the deadlines. It is because of this dependency, it's very difficult to meet the deadlines. Coding team will wait for the developer design team to complete their job. Design team will wait for the analysis team will wait for the requirements to be completed. So that's how there will be dependency, and there's a lot of waiting time. Because of this waiting time, it is very difficult to meet the deadlines. Now let's say testing team needs 2 months of time to complete the testing part, and when the testing should start after 6 months. Let's say there are 10 testers. Assuming there are 10 testers. So 10 testers will wait for 6 months to complete the testing part. How many months? 6 long months the testing will wait. Testers will wait for completing the coding because testing should start only after completing the coding part. Okay, so one team will wait for its previous team to complete the requirements. Testing team will wait for the coding to get completed. Only after completing the coding part, the testing should start. So they will wait for 6 months. The resources are in idle, waiting for their previous stage to get completed. So testing team will wait for the coding to be completed. Coding team will wait for the design to get completed. Design will wait for analysis. Analysis will wait for the requirements. There's a lot of dependence between one team to other team, which is making it difficult to meet the deadlines. It's very difficult to meet the commitments. Assuming the testing is positive, everything is clear as per the product is everything clear as per the requirement, then they will deliver it to the customer. So this approach is called as waterfall model. The most important disadvantage is that one team will wait for other team to complete their job. Because of this waiting time, it is very difficult and to meet the deadlines in with respect to commitments given to the customer. That is first disadvantage. There is one more disadvantage. Waterfall model does not encourages the client to give new requirements. Waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. Example, let's say the requirements has been freezed on assuming 1st January 2025. I'm back. Can you hear me? Please respond. I hope you can hear me. Can you please respond in the chat box? Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you very much. I'm stopping the chat again. Assuming the requirements has been freezed on 1st January 2025. Okay. So once the requirements has been freezed, they continue with the rest of all the steps. Maybe after 3 months, client wants to add new feature. Client wants to add new requirement. Let's say client want to add new feature, client wants to add new functionality. The waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. As per the freeze requirement, the design happens. As per the freeze requirements, developer will work on the code. This is the waterfall model. There's no concept of going back and changing something. Once the project is in the design stage, there's no concept of going back and changing the requirements. Once the project is in coding part, there's no concept of going back and changing the design. Once the project is in testing part, there's no concept of developers changing the code. They freeze the step and move to the next step. Once the requirements is freeze, then the analysis happens. Once the analysis is freezed, the design happens. Once the design is freezed, developers will work on the code. Once the coding has been completed, it is freezed, testing happens. At the testing time, there's no concept of going back and changing the code by the developers. That's why it is called as waterfall. As the water falls from top to bottom, there's no concept of water going back. Am I right? That's why this model is called as waterfall model. So this waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give the new requirements. They freeze the requirements. Once the requirements freezed as per the freeze the requirements, the development happens, which is not suitable as per the current industry because the industry is very, very fast and dynamic. Clients are giving the requirements. Your model should be robust enough to take the new requirements, accept the new requirements, and deliver the new requirements along with the old requirements. That's how the flexibility and robust enough the models should be. So waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give the new requirements. These are the two important disadvantages of the waterfall model. Let's look at the slide. It is very difficult to estimate the time and cost because of the dependency between one team to other team. Okay. Once an application is in testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change something which is not well. There's no concept of going back and changing the design or changing the requirements. There's nothing concept of going back. Okay, next. This model is not suitable for complex and object-oriented projects. Not suitable for projects where the requirements are at a moderate to high risk of changing. This model is not suitable for those those kind of clients who keeps on changing the requirements. So these are the main disadvantages of the waterfall. It's difficult to estimate the time because of dependency. There's no concept of going back and changing the requirements where it is not suitable for most of the clients and complex clients. Because of these disadvantages, waterfall model is not used now. The complete industry is moved to the agile model. The entire industry is now working on the agile model. Now, what is agile model? How is it different from other models? On a high level, let me explain you the concept of agile, which is very, very important now. Having exposure on agile model is very, very important. On a high level, I'll spend some time to explain how agile model works How is it different from other models? Okay, look at this. The theory says that agile model is called as incremental model. Look at the terminology. Where the software is developed in incremental and rapid cycles. Pick up the terms, incremental, rapid cycles. This results in small and incremental release, each release building on previous functionality. Each release is thoroughly tested and ensure that the software quality is maintained. Agile method emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary. Look at the terms. Incremental, incremental, evolutionary, rapid cycles. Okay. So what does this theory mean? Let's try to understand practically. Let's try to understand the agile in a practical approach. Let's say this is the expectations from the client. Let's say this is an expectation from the client. Client wants the internet banking application so that their customers can log in and perform banking operations. Okay, so this is what the expectations from the client. Now, what happens in waterfall model, the traditional waterfall model? In waterfall model, as you all know, that the first stage is requirements. Okay, they take the requirements of personal banking. Next, requirements team will take the requirements of privileged banking. Next, they move on to wealth banking, private banking, NRI banking, business banking, small and medium scale enterprises, and corporate banking. They take the requirements of each and every department. Once the requirements gathering is completed, now they declare saying that the requirement stage has been completed. So they take the requirements of each and every department. They take the requirements of each and every department. Once the complete requirements gathering has been completed, now they declare saying that the requirement stage has been completed. Next, after requirements, technology components are decided. That's fine. That's not specific to department. Next, design stage. Design team will design the document, design for the personal banking, they design the privileged banking, they design the wealth banking module, privileged banking module, NRI banking module, business banking module. They design all the modules, and now once the design has been completed, they declare that the design has been completed. This is what happens in the design part. Once the design is completed, as we all know, the developers will jump into action. Developers are mapped to specific modules. Developers will develop the code. They develop the code for personal banking. They develop the code for privileged banking. They develop the code for wealth banking. Once they develop the code for all the departments, they declare saying that the development stage has been completed. Stage by stage approach. Testing team will test all the modules and declare saying that the testing has been completed. So assuming everything is good, application is perfectly behaving as per the requirement, then we deliver the entire application to the client. This is what happens. This is what happens in the waterfall model. Whereas in the agile model, it is iterative, incremental, evolutionary approach. What does that mean? How is it different from other waterfall model? Look at this. Requirements, the first stage is requirements in the agile also. They take the requirements of module 1, department 1. Once the requirements has been completed, the requirements team go to the next department. The requirements team will be busy taking the requirements of the second department. Meanwhile, the design team will jump into action. The design team will be working on the first department. Are you understand? Design team will not wait for all the requirements to be completed. As the requirement of the first department has been completed, the requirements team will move on to second department. The design team will be busy designing the first department. So both the teams are busy. The requirements team is busy taking the second department, working on second, whereas design team is busy with the personal banking. Look at the next iteration. Look at the next iteration. Look at the next iteration. Okay. In the next iteration, this is what happens. Department to design has been completed. Design team will move on to wealth banking. So requirements team will move on to wealth banking. Design team, once they complete the personal banking module, design team will be busy designing the second module, whereas development coding team will be working on the first module. They start developing the code. And if you look at this, all the three teams are busy. Requirements team is busy with the wealth banking. Design team is busy with privilege banking. Development team is busy with personal banking. You are making the entire workforce in action. If you look at the next iteration, assuming the requirements of the wealth banking is completed, the privilege banking requirements will be taken. The design team will be busy designing the wealth module, and development team, assuming that the first module development has been completed, development team will be busy with the second module. Testing team will be busy testing the first module. You are breaking the dependency. This helps the entire workforce in action. When the entire workforce is in action, the product can be developed at much more faster rate than expected. If everything is good, if the testing team says that the module one is good, we deliver the module one to the client. There's no agile says evolutionary model. There's no hard and fast rule that the entire project should be delivered at once. Incremental. So we deliver the module one to the customer. At least the customer is happy. They can experience how exactly the application looks like. They can perform end user testing. Are you understanding? So in the next way, in the next cycle, requirements team busy with NRI banking, design team will busy with private banking, coding team will be busy with wealth banking, testing team will be busy with privilege banking. As the first module testing has been completed, we'll deliver the first module to the customer. So Agile will help entire workforce in action. Agile will break the dependencies between one team to other team. As the entire workforce is in action, you can meet the deadlines. You are breaking the dependency between one team to other team, which helps in delivering the product at much more faster rate. Next point, Agile encourages the clients to give new requirements. Unlike waterfall model, Agile encourages the clients to give new requirements. The new requirements has been taken and we repeat the same cycle with respect to new requirements. So that's how Agile helps the product development companies to meet the deadlines. The product development companies' budgets, I mean, it's very easy for meeting the deadlines, and the customer is also very happy because they get the product as per the requirements. That's how Agile is different from other models. Clear? Am I clear? So that's how Agile is different and Agile is much more better. So that's the reason, because of these advantages, as Agile encourages the clients to give new requirements, as Agile helps the entire workforce is in action, you can meet the deadlines and you can deliver the product at much more faster rate. That's what Agile helps the industry. Now, our agenda is to learn DevOps, isn't it? Our agenda is to learn DevOps. Now, why are we spending some time in waterfall model as well as agile model. Now plan, coming to our plan, the problem statement here in the current industry is delay. Now, if the waterfall model is taking 2 years of time for the product to be completed, the same product which much more quality, you can deliver it in just 1 year if you follow the agile model. Okay. If waterfall model is taking 2 years of time for building the product and delivering to the customer, the same thing you can deliver it in 1 year. That's what agile says. But now the industry is in such a way that clients are not even ready to wait for 1 year. When you tell to the client, when the product development companies explain to the client saying that we need 1 year because as we are using agile model, we need 1 year time to deliver the product. Clients are not in a position to wait for 1 year. They give the requirements now, they want the product to be delivered in just 2 to 3 months. And such a faster rate, clients are expecting their products to be delivered. When compared to waterfall model, agile is speed, no doubt. But now the industry is in such a way that even they want much more faster way in building the products and delivering it to customer. Clients are not ready to wait for even 1 year long. They want the products to be delivered in just 2 to 3 months. In such a faster approach, the clients are expecting the products to be delivered. Okay, so top 50 IT companies have done a research work for 5 years to understand the term called delay. Top 50 IT companies have done a research work for a period of 5 years to understand the term called delay. Okay, even though agile is used, but still 1 year is a delay. Okay, the problem statement now the industry facing is delay. After doing a research work for 5 years, they have understood the reason for the delay. After doing a research work for 5 years, the IT companies have understood the reason for the delay. The main reason, in spite of any model, even the agile model is used, the main reason for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team. This is the problem state. The main problem which is causing the delay is gap between development team and the operations team. Okay. Now, if you want to understand the statement, gap between development team and the operations team, if you want to understand this statement, you have to be very clear in understanding two important terminologies. What do you mean by development team and what do you mean by operations team? You have to be very clear in understanding two important terminologies, development team and operations team. If you're clear in understanding development team, if you're clear in understanding the term operations team, then this statement will be very clear for you. Now let's spend some time understanding these two important terminologies. What is development team and what is operations team? Okay, now let's try to understand the first term that is called as development team. What do you mean by development team? Development team is a group of developers, as simple as that. If it is a Java project, a group of Java developers is called as development team. If it is a Python project, group of Python programmers are called as development team. So their responsibility is to develop the project as per the requirements. As simple, you can easily understand and visualize what the developers will do. They develop the code, they write the code, they build applications. So yes, we all know what the development team is. Now let's try to understand the second important term called as operations team. What is operations team? What do they do? What are their day-to-day responsibilities? Is operations team important? How is it add value to the customer? Let's try to understand the term called operations team. Let's try to understand the term called operations team. Okay. Now Visualize a small IT company of 100 employees. Okay, assume a small software development companies of 100 employees. There are 100 employees for for a particular client. All 100 employees are billable for a particular client. In a company of 100 employees, do you think right from the first employee to the last employee, do you think everybody is developers? My difference? In a company of 100 employees, right from the first employee to the last employee, do you think everybody is a developer? Do you think everybody will come and start developing the code? Not the case. Don't be under impression that everybody working in the IT industry is developers. It's not the case. Definitely not. All these top companies like Infosys, TCS, big giants, when they declare saying that we have thousands of employees worldwide, do you think everybody is a developer? No, it's not the case. Okay. So coming to our example, assuming a company of 100 employees, which are directly involved in a particular project. So don't be under impression that everybody is a developer. Let's assume that 50 resources are developers. Assuming that 50% of the staff is developers. What about the other group of people who are not, they belong to not, obviously they are not developers. If they are not developers, then what they do? What are their responsibilities? Why are they recruited? Why are they billed? Even they are billed by the client. This set of people who will be developing the code, okay, we can understand they're developers. There are a group of people who are not developers, but they're very important. You cannot ignore them. They're very critical. Okay, then you have a question. Obviously, if they are not developers, then what do they do? What are the responsibility of these set of people who will not develop any code? Even though they do not develop any code, they're very, very important for a client. These set of people who are not developers are called as operations team. These set of people who will not develop the code, but they're very, very important, billable and critical are called as operations. If that is the case, what are the responsibilities of the operations team? Why are they critical? What are the day-to-day roles of the operations team? Let's try to spend some time understanding the roles and responsibilities of operations team. What are the responsibilities of the operations team? If development team will work on the instances, it is whose responsibility to install the server hardware, installing the operating system. Do you know development team will work with development instances, test instances, production instances? It is whose responsibility to configure those servers. It is whose responsibility to configure their network storage. It is whose responsibility to make sure that the servers are running 24/7. It is whose responsibility to monitor the servers. Who will respond when the server is down? Happily, development team will send a mail saying that the server is not working or we are unable to connect. Please check. Who will be connecting? Who will be checking it? It is the operations team who will be responding to the outages. It is whose responsibility to maintain, to apply patches, to take the backups. It is whose responsibility to maintain IT security, version controlling, backup of the servers, disaster recovery planning, production support. Once the product is rolled out, once the clients start using that particular product, there should be a production support team who will be supporting to the client tickets. Any issue faced by the client with respect to that particular product which is delivered, there is a ticket. There should be one team who will be responding to that particular tickets and clear that particular issue. Those are called production support. So these are all not done by the developers, right? Developers will not do it. You need some set of people, skilled resources, database administrators, Linux administrators, network administrators, Windows administrators, cloud infrastructure companies, infrastructure resources. You need a huge skilled power resources to manage all these operations. So without operations team, clients cannot progress with their work. There should be a strong operations team which helps the clients to perform their day-to-day activities. So these, you need a skill set of people to perform these set of responsibilities. They are called as operations team. Development team and operations team. Both are very, very critical. And the reason for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team. I'll give a simple example. Let's say developer is working on SQL Server database. Okay, so developer is developing the particular project using the backend as Microsoft SQL Server. Now, development team wants to use Oracle database. They want to experience how the application is behaving. Instead of SQL Server, they want to use Oracle database. That's the requirement of the development team. So development team send an email saying that we need Oracle, let's say Oracle database 18C version. It is whose responsibility to provide the database server? Tell me. It is whose responsibility to provide the database server, that is Oracle database. There is something called database administrators. It is a responsibility of the DBA to provision the instance, to create that particular Oracle database server. If the DBA is in leave, assuming you need a DBA, DBA belongs to which team? Database administrators are nothing but belonging to operations team. If the DBA is in leave, obviously the development team will wait for their instance, the DBA instance to get ready. One small gap, if the DBA is in leave, if their skilled resources are not available, or the server space is not available. So these are the lot of gaps which is causing the delay. These are the main reason for the delay in the IT industry. So after doing a research work, problem statement is the gap between development team and operations team which is causing the delay. Okay, perfect. So you know the problem statement, and you know what are the responsibilities of the operations team. Now coming to our core subject, the reasons for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team, and this gap can be filled by using a new team called DevOps team. This problem statement can be addressed. This gap can be filled, and you can speed up the development process by you having a new team called as a DevOps team. Now, what is DevOps team? How is it? What are their response? Traditionally, there'll be only two teams, development team and operations team. Now the clients are involving a third team called as DevOps team. So DevOps and its importance. DevOps is a method. It's a methodology. It's a methodology. It's a concept. And that methodology can be, what it will do. It will help in collaborating, obviously, two teams, development team and operations team. That's the problem statement. Right? There's a gap, and this DevOps methodology fills the gap between the development team and the operations team. This allows the code into production much more faster and automated way. This enables rapid development. That's what we want. As client wants their products to be delivered in rapid pace, as there should not be any scope for delay, the IT companies are now involving a new team of people called as DevOps team. It's a methodology. This methodology can be implemented by using the DevOps tools. DevOps is a methodology. This methodology can be practically implemented by using the DevOps tools. Each and every tool has having a specific purpose, which helps in moving the code into production at much more faster and automated way. Got it? Perfect. So what DevOps methodology says, what are the tools of DevOps, how each and every tool contributes both the teams, and making the product development much more faster, making sure that the quality is maintained. Okay, so those DevOps tools will be covered in our course. If you look at this, we will start the course with Linux, because every DevOps engineer should be strong in Linux commands. So that's the reason we spend some time with Linux, and we move into the first tool of DevOps, that is called as Git. Second tool, Maven. The third tool of DevOps is Jenkins. We move on to infrastructure management called as Docker and Swarm. We move on to Kubernetes, configuration management tool, Ansible, Nagios, and Terraform. These are the set of DevOps tools which will be covered in our course. Every tool is having its own functionality and its own advantage. Okay, so once as a DevOps engineer, you start using these tools, you have to be collaborating with the development team and the operations team, and you have to help your company to meet the deadlines by delivering the products at much more faster rate. And this is possible only with these DevOps tools. Okay, the importance of DevOps is growing. As I told you, traditionally there are two tools, two teams, development team and the operations team, and many companies are now adopting a third team called DevOps team. If you search in Google, DevOps is trending. DevOps focusing on it also can be implemented in AI and ML automation. It helps the cloud infrastructure management companies who are maintaining the servers on cloud. DevOps helps. DevOps. DevOps job market in 25 strong with consistent high demand skilled areas in computation, automation, DevSecOps, containerization. Containerization is nothing but Docker. Okay, many clients are implementing DevOps. Clients are adopting DevOps. DevOps is a culture. As I said, it's a method which helps in automation, continuous delivery. And this automation continuous delivery happens by using a tool called as Jenkins. This is a cultural shift. Okay. So many clients are implementing DevOps. Okay. So adoption of DevOps is growing day by day. When clients are adopting DevOps methodology, they need DevOps resources to speed up that particular product. And DevOps resources are in high in demand as of now. Okay. So spend some time about DevOps trends, DevOps culture, DevOps methodology, and when you're learning a particular technology, it should add value to your current job role. So many clients are implementing DevOps, so DevOps market is good now. Next important point, very important point. We are learning DevOps on which platform? In AWS cloud. Very important, my dear friends. We are learning DevOps on which platform? On AWS cloud. That means all these tools, Git, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, all this, we will not install it on our personal laptop. Everything we'll be installing it on AWS cloud platform, and we'll be learning DevOps on AWS. The same set of tools, we can learn it on Microsoft Azure. The concept is the same, but we can implement in our AWS platform. We can learn the same tools on Microsoft Azure. We can learn DevOps on Google Cloud platform also. Are you understanding? Okay, if you look at the first slide, look at the title. We are learning DevOps on AWS platform. That's why this title is called as AWS Devops. If you learn DevOps on AWS platform, the title is called as AWS Devops. If you're learning DevOps on Azure, the title is called as Azure DevOps. If you're learning on GCP platform, this is termed as GCP DevOps professionals. Okay, so you are called as AWS DevOps professional because we are learning DevOps on AWS. Next very important point. There may be some participants who are completely zero in DevOps. Okay, so sorry, zero in AWS. Anyways, we'll start DevOps from the scratch. You may be zero in AWS. Okay, if you are zero in AWS, no problem. You can continue this particular batch. Okay, because I will be teaching 15% of AWS concepts. Okay, so I'll be teaching 15% of AWS concepts which are required for the DevOps professionals. Okay, so DevOps professionals should be having exposure towards AWS. So whatever the topics of AWS required, those topics of AWS I'll be covering in this particular batch. But my recommendation, after DevOps, there is an exclusive AWS course, I think for 30 days. Okay, after this particular DevOps, I strongly recommend to learn an exclusively course called as AWS, maybe in this institute or any other institute, that's fine. But please have some strong exposure in AWS also because the combination does well. If you already know AWS, that's good. If you do not know AWS, that's okay because 15% of AWS I'll teach you to make your you make yourself comfortable in the AWS cloud. Okay, but you have to spend some time learning more in details about AWS. Okay, so this session, like how today we have started, the session timings are at 6 a.m. to 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, every session is recorded. Even this is day one, this is also recorded. Every session is recorded. And we will be uploading our recording in our portal, that is Logic Labs. You can log into our portal and then you can play the recordings. Any PowerPoint slides and notes which I have used, I'll be sharing the documents so that you can download those particular documents. Recording, you can play it, and notes, you can download it. Clear? Clear about this? And the first 3 to 4 sessions are the demo sessions. Okay, so like how you have attended demo, you can also continue tomorrow. What's the plan for tomorrow? As I told you, the prerequisite for DevOps is Linux. We spend some time starting Linux. Okay, so tomorrow our plan is to create a Linux machine on AWS. You need a Linux environment to run the commands, to learn the Linux commands. You cannot learn Linux in our Windows laptop, am I right? So we need a Linux environment. So we will be showing you how to create a Linux machine on AWS. Okay, so tomorrow is our plan is to create a Linux machine. We will learn how can we connect to the Linux machine and how can we practice Linux on AWS. How can you create a new AWS account? If you're already having AWS account, well and good. There are some participants who are completely new to AWS who do not have AWS account. I'll guide you how to create an AWS account. Not only just creating an AWS account, we'll also learn how can we create Linux machine on AWS. This is our plan for tomorrow. Okay, the same link which you have joined now, the same link will also equally good for tomorrow. So tomorrow the link will be the same. You can join the tomorrow session. Our plan for tomorrow is to spend some time on AWS environment and creating a Linux machine. Next. Go to upcoming batches. You can see this is our site, logiclabstech.com. I hope you already are in this, you already know the site. I'm sending the site URL in the chat box now. I have just sent you the site URL in the chat box. Go to upcoming batches. This particular batch which you are listening now is batch number 431, that is DevOps, started by me on today. And this is the course content. If you want to have a look at the course content, you can download the course content, the PDF file. And this is the payment link. You can make the payment after the demo also. But just for your information, you can click on the payment link. The course fees is 7,080 rupees. Indian rupees as per 7,080 rupees. So you can buy now, log in to using Google and check out and complete the payment. Okay. So this is a quick information about our course. Any questions? Please raise your hand. Any questions on the topics what we have discussed? Please raise your hand. Yes. Good morning, Hari. You're from which location? Your experience? You can talk now. You are unmuted. We cannot hear you. Please check. Good morning, Sunny.
Hello.
Good morning. We can
Good
hear you.
morning. Good morning. I have two questions.
Yes.
I am from Nasik, Maharashtra. I
Very
am
good.
currently working in Linux administrator
Wow.
from 3 years experience.
Very good.
So I have done your AWS batch, which
Oh, long
was
back.
long back in what 2021 79 batch.
Oh, this is batch
So
number 3. I hope you have.
341
Maybe
years,
I
yeah.
think you have joined in the COVID time. I think so.
I think so. But
Yeah.
I have done that, and recently I have done as just recap. I was having the recordings.
Okay.
So I have completed that. Means I know what is the AWS, okay, but
Mhm.
UI is lot of changed recently,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It keeps on changing.
yes.
Okay.
So I have a question. Does I also need to do again that
Which
batch
one?
or
AWS.
AWS architect,
Not required. Not required.
or it will be covered in this?
No, no. You already have completed AWS, right? Maybe
Yes,
long
yes,
back. That's
yes.
more than enough. Okay. That knowledge is more than enough. You can directly continue DevOps.
Okay, I don't have a hands-on experience, but I know the concept.
No problem. You can continue DevOps now. Hmm?
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
Like we are going in AWS DevOps batch,
Correct.
and there is open source DevOps.
Correct.
So it is having a different like organization will prefer which one mostly.
See, first preference because the number one cloud platform as of now till is the AWS. Okay.
Yeah.
And the second preference is Azure. Okay. These two are in demand.
Okay.
Okay. Learning, understanding DevOps on AWS, understanding DevOps on Azure is in good demand. Okay.
Yeah.
So always these are higher preference when compared to open source DevOps. Okay.
Okay. So there will be any difference like nothing difference like using
The
tools.
concepts are the same. Only
Okay.
the
Okay.
tools differs. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sony. Good morning, Ganesh.
Hi, Sunil. Yeah, I have two questions. One is
Yes.
currently job market is down, right? How, what about this DevOps engineer?
See, job market is down, not specific to technology, right? In overall, all the technologies right now, the recruitments are less. Am I right? Not only DevOps, in any technology, the recruitments are less. Okay.
Yes,
But
yes.
in this downtime, how can we plan to be safe? Ganesh, we plan to be safe only by upgrading ourselves as market ready. Am I right?
Yeah.
And the best thing to upgrade is to learn latest technologies. Okay, if you are from non-development team,
Mhm.
obviously the best approach is to upgrade ourselves to the latest technologies. One such technology is DevOps, which helps
Mhm.
to make ourselves more uh, ready for the market. Ganesh.
Okay.
Okay.
And this,
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the second question is, what is the difference between SRE, platform engineer, and DevOps engineer? I'm hearing these words.
Site reliability engineering is all about for clients who are uh,
Mhm.
who do not, for especially for on clients who are on premises. Okay, let's say for example, there are clients who are not maintaining their
Okay.
infrastructure on cloud, they're maintaining still on premises. Okay, on
Mhm.
premises is always subjected to be risk with respect to uptime and reliability. Am I right? So
Yeah.
that is a different concept altogether. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't need to
If you
worry.
learn the DevOps engineer, is it applicable for say site level engineer, platform engineer
You
as well?
100% you will not be perfect resource. Okay, but you will have exposure towards site reliability.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. You know AWS?
Yeah, I know AWS.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes. Hari. Looks like you have some mic problem, Hari. Please check your mic settings. We cannot hear you. Okay. Okay. See you tomorrow, Hari, and all of you. See you tomorrow. Plan. Please make a schedule. Make your uh, make a habit to attend all this 40 days. The duration is approximately 40 to 45 days. 45 days, 45 working days. In other words, it will be close to 2 months of duration. So make a habit of next 2 months. Take it a challenge to upgrade ourselves to the DevOps skill set so that you can increase your resume value and you can upgrade your current. You may be a current network administrator, you can be a system administrator, or you may be a production support engineer. Okay, so the right skill sets for you to upgrade is to go into DevOps. Okay, because having spending some 3 to 4 years in this kind of administration activities, you cannot go back to developer role. I hope you're understanding. So in the operations team, the only way for upgrading ourselves, the right way of upgrading ourselves is cloud and DevOps. Okay, I hope you have understood the importance of cloud and importance of DevOps. See you tomorrow where we learn especially how to create an AWS account, how to log into AWS account, and the prerequisite for DevOps is Linux. So we will get started with Linux. So that's our plan for tomorrow. Okay. Yes, let's have one more interaction with the Godfred. You are now allowed. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, joining for the first time, but I think the time is conflicting with another time of mine, so I don't know how I'm going to uh make time with this one. But I really want to focus on the DevOps as it just started. So I don't know if
Please plan your calendar. Okay. You know the timings. It starts at India, 6 a.m. Okay.
Yes, I know that, but I also have one with a Python also in your platform. So it's like that one starts I think 5:30 to I think yes 6:30 or so.
1 minute.
Yeah, that's a Python 427.
It's already started.
Yes, so I'm on it. So that's why today, if you could say I joined late, so
Okay.
so I
Okay.
don't know
Okay.
how I'll make time with.
So you can do one thing. You can join DevOps after Python, or you have to depend on recordings. Okay, so as you know, every session is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
DevOps, you can, instead of live training, you can depend on recordings and regularly spend some time on recordings. Okay, take the
Okay,
decision. Okay, yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. See you tomorrow where we'll continue learning on DevOps journey. Good time. Thank you.